Clifford, ready for a walk? Welcome back to another vlog of the Black Belt Floof, where you get to see the Floof running around enjoying herself and going about her daily life. At the same time, you get to hear from me, the Black Belt Barrister, giving you some useful and informational tidbits on animal and dog law. In this video, 7 or so differences or similarities in the law with animals and dogs in England and Wales as against the United States. So let's delve right into it while you get to enjoy the Floof running around. First of all, in England and Wales, we have the Animal Welfare Act of 2006, which is an act of a key piece of legislation for general animal welfare. It imposes strict duty of care on people to ensure that they take reasonable steps to meet the minimum needs of animals for which they are responsible. It also makes it against the law to cause unnecessary suffering to an animal or not to provide for its welfare needs. But in the United States, you consider for that as well, with the Animal Welfare Act of 1966. The Animal Welfare Act is the primary federal law in the United States concerning the general welfare of animals, setting again the specific minimum standards of care that must be provided for animals, but not just in your own home, but in research, exhibition, transport, and indeed by dealers. But unlike the UK law, it doesn't cover pets in homes or stray animals. Then in England and Wales, we have the Dangerous Dogs Act of 1991. Many will be familiar with this from recent news items, but this act imposes strict restrictions on the ownership of certain types of dogs that are deemed to be dangerous. The most commonly known example is the Pit Bull Terrier, but it also imposes penalties for having a dog which is dangerously out of control in a public place. This doesn't just mean off lead, it means it is dangerously out of control and it's going to cause someone immediate fear of harm from that animal. But it also provides for allowing a dog to injure a person or an assistance dog, and that is also covered under the Dangerous Dogs Act. In the United States, there's no federal law regarding dangerous dogs in the United States. For those in England and Wales, a federal law is that which covers the entire country, whereas state and city laws are specific to that specific state or city. So instead of a federal law in the United States, there are laws about dangerous dogs, and breed-specific legislation varies state by state and even by city in some instances. Some places have laws very similar to the United Kingdom's Dangerous Dogs Act, while others do not regulate dog breeds at all, and you can own anything that you wish. We come to the very common question as to whether a dog must have its owner's name, address and telephone number on the collar. I get this question a lot, specifically after creating this Floof channel. Well, in England and Wales, we have the Control of Dogs Order of 1992, which mandates that all dogs in a public place wear a collar with the name and address of the owner inscribed on it, or a tag attached to it. I suppose if you have it inside some little container as a piece of paper, that's probably going to be okay, although strictly not in compliance with the law. But I don't think that you'll be prosecuted under this for not having that in place, if that's the case. In the United States, licensing and leash laws. In most states, it is required by law to license a dog, which helps to ensure that all dogs are vaccinated against rabies, among other things. Leash laws also exist countrywide, but they vary significantly from place to place. Some requiring that dogs are on lead all the time, or on leash all the time, I should say, for the United States, and some just don't have any requirements at all. And now let's take a brief interlude to see the Floof going for her regular vet checkup and vaccinations. So that's some legal information about dogs and animals that you keep at home and as pets, but what about the wildlife and wild animals? In England and Wales, we have the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981. This law offers protection to native wildlife, controlling the release of non-native species. For example, if you have, let's say, a Japanese breed of ants that are notoriously territorial, it would be a criminal offence to release those into the wild. You may have noticed in the background to my videos, I keep a colony of ants. I bet you didn't know that. Let me know in the comments if you knew that or you'd spotted those before. The Wildlife and Countryside Act enhances the protection available specifically and in particular to what's referred to as sites of special scientific interest, and also, as it happens, builds on the rights of way rules outlined in the national parks and access to the Countryside Act of 1949, all of which, of course, roaming in nature has an intrinsic link with wild animals. In the United States, you have the Endangered Species Act of 1973. This act was specifically intended to protect critically imperiled and endangered species from extinction as a consequence of economic growth and development, untempered by adequate concern and conservation. In England and Wales, we have the Animal Health and Welfare Scotland Act, for those Scottish fellows among you, of 2006, which is specifically designed for Scotland, but worth noting that as it's introduced more robust powers to alleviate animal suffering and a duty of care on pet owners and other responsibility for animals to care for them properly. In the United States, there is the Humane Slaughter Act, or the Humane Methods of Livestock Slaughter Act of 1958. Again, a federal law designed to decrease the suffering of livestock during slaughter. It's been noted that as being a step ahead in terms of legislation related to such acts compared to the United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom perhaps has some way to go. So there's just a few interesting tidbits of legal comparisons with animals, both in the United Kingdom and the United States. And I hope you enjoyed the Floof's vlog today. Let me know in the comments and like the video if you did. Make sure you subscribe, and if you enjoy this combination of the Floof running around having fun with some legal guidance along the way. Make sure you check out my other channels, Black Belt Barrister, Black Belt Secrets, and my dear wife's channel, Easy Chinese Cooking. We are really making a thing of this. Thank you all so much for watching.